What if your path to financial freedom wasn't real estate or the stock market, but websites? Today's guest turned digital property into multi-million dollar portfolio, and he's here to show you how he did it without being tech savvy. So if you've ever wondered how people really make money online, this is your behind the scenes pass. Let's just dive right on in, Matt. I'm excited to chat with you because, your journey kind of started in a very unexpected place,
It
the world of
did.
zoology.
Yeah.
And I would love to know, like, was there a defining moment that pushed you into the digital space from zoology?
Absolutely. So what our actual story is, when I say our, my wife is also my business partner, has been for the last 30 years. And when we got together, our journey's been quite different to most people. We've generated our wealth through buying and selling businesses. We've done it for the last 30 years. We're kind of obsessed by it. We bought our first little manufacturing business when we first got together with the help of friends and family, made every mistake under the sun. And so, Shay, when it's a really good question, what was the defining moment or the pivot point for us? The pivot point was, this is hard to say. As much as I'm a fan of buying and selling businesses, and you've just heard that's how we've made our money, we didn't do the real estate thing. It was really difficult for those first 15 years. As young entrepreneurs, we were constantly in debt to the banks. And for us, we're anti-debt. It's like a anchor around your neck when you're an entrepreneur. I know a lot of gurus out there say you can use debt effectively. Well, in manufacturing businesses and wholesale businesses, it's really challenging because all your money, whether you got debt or not, is tied up in a warehouse somewhere in physical inventory. And that was a major problem cash flow wise. And around that time, we read the famous book, Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad. And what changed for us, we were really lucky, was that book teaching us the leverage that you should be getting out of a business, which is becoming an investor on the right hand side of the quadrant. But we literally started hanging around guys or mentors who were those full on investors that Robert Kiyosaki talked about. So this is here in Australia, very private individuals, but very wealthy through buying and selling businesses. And what they were doing, they were using businesses as assets and just trading them, building them up, maybe floating them on the stock exchange, using them as an asset though. And we just absolutely love that. But we had this issue around debt. And when we started to see the internet, we realized we could do what we've always done and what these guys were doing, but no debt. We could buy very high cash flow online businesses and we didn't have to make money through physical inventory. So the turning point was seeing the internet and realizing that instead of buying e-commerce type websites, which relies on physical inventory, we could buy these advertising style websites. So they literally just made money. They were light and easy. I guess that's what you call it. They were scrappy. You just bought the website, and if you were good at it, you made money, cash flow out of it straight away. And that was the defining moment for us. And to the point where our own mentors, very high net worth individuals, would come and ask us, how are you doing that? We're not, it's just by buying these very high cash flow businesses. So that online space was pivotal because it opened up our world. Literally, here we are down in Australia. There was another big advantage of online businesses, which is we instantly had access to the American market and it was 24/7. And so literally these became cash cow machines that generated cash flow for us 24/7. I can remember, Shay, the first website we bought, when we took it over, it was really cool. Literally the next morning, there was money in the affiliate account while we
Wow,
sleep. And that is
that's quick.
mind blowing. Like to
Yeah.
us, you got to think for 15 years, we struggled, exporting products to America. You've got to put it on a ship. You've got all the paperwork. There's massive risk. And here, this thing is we bought this website for 20 grand. And the next morning, there's money in the bank account. It's like we did nothing, literally nothing. And that's when we said, right, we're all in on this. And that was life change from that moment on.
That's amazing. So you're essentially like buying online real estate, like websites are the online real estate
Yes.
world.
Yep. Yep.
That's fascinating. So yeah, how in the world do you get in? Where does somebody start?
Yeah, I know. It's a very different concept. It's funny these days. A lot of people are now, especially since COVID, realize the power of online businesses. Back then, when we bought that first one, that was in 2008. This was kind of unheard of. The marketplaces didn't exist for buying and selling websites, and so I guess the easiest way to where we start when I explain to someone what we do, because we speak to a lot of real estate investors about what we do. It's kind of like buying and renovating traditional what you real estate people do. If you're listening to this, I'm presuming a lot of people made a lot of wealth out of real estate, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of the same idea. We buy, except we're just doing it online. So we buy, renovate, and sell, and that's pretty much it.
You
So we,
you renovate a website? You renovate
yep,
the business? What are you
yep.
renovating?
It's the website. So we don't buy the underlying business or company or anything like that. We're just buying the online business, which is a standalone, it generates profits and losses.
Uh,
Hopefully, no losses. It
right?
generates all profits. But what we do is we buy the website. So if you think of the website address as like the physical address for physical real estate,
Yeah.
and then the website that sits on that address, that's like the house that sits on it. So all we've got to do is, like Liz always says, we just got to find the the worst house in the best street. So we love buying good websites in good niches that are typically what we call passion niches, which I can talk about in a minute. And then we look for in an ideal world, we look for rundown websites, ones that have been neglected because people get bored with them. They might have started them 5 years ago and they're kind of not making much money, don't really know what they're doing. So we look for ones that are got opportunity to do a reasonably easy reno, and then we will buy that at a good price, and then we put our team onto it to fix them up over time. It's not a get rich quick thing. It's not as quick as what it used to be. I've got to be honest about that. It's not. In the past, you could get a lot quicker results. These days, it might take a year or two to really renovate the sites really nicely. But basically, we renovate the site, we do an initial makeover, and then we just hold for the cash flow. And then if we can double the profits, then basically you're quadrupling your money when you come to sell, because businesses sell on a multiplier of the profit. So it's a very powerful cash generating machine, like what Warren Buffett talks about. That
Yeah.
they're compounding machines when you get it right.
Yeah, I think it's a different outlook and mindset to look
Very
at
much so. Yep.
online real estate, quote unquote, real estate,
Yep.
and renovating. I've never thought of it before like that. That's so very fascinating. Now, can we go back to what'd you call it, a passion niche?
The passion niches, yes, yeah, yeah. So what we discovered, there's lots of strategies that you can do to make money online, right? And the one that we avoid is e-commerce. So traditional Amazon sites, there's lots of courses online about it. They do really well, by the way, but for beginners, we don't recommend it. And for Liz and I, because we're adverse to having all our net worth tied up in a warehouse somewhere, we made a pact with each other. When we do this online, we are never going back to a physical inventory style business, because that's how we'd always done it. And
Hmm.
it just ties up all your money. We don't like that model. So what we look for is basically advertising sites, or they're like an online billboard. So basically people come to the website, and if they take an action, we make money. So if they click on an ad or they buy an affiliate product, we get a
Hmm.
commission. So they're really, really simple business model in terms of monetization. But then the strategy where we go deeper and where it's worked really well for us and our clients, and we've taught this over the years, is this passion niche idea. So someone's passionate about playing guitar. So then and the reason I'm using this example, we've got a client right now, Greg, who's doing six figures out of teaching people how to play jazz guitar. Not just guitar, like it's very niche. It's jazz guitar. It's a
Yeah.
specific style of playing guitar. So he sells a course and he's making six figures out of that. So in the hundreds of thousands from that course. And it's all passive once he's set it all up. And
Hmm.
so he's passionate about it. And there are other people on the planet that are passionate about jazz guitar. So they pay, $49 a month to learn off off his website how to do that. So now I wouldn't buy that site myself now because Greg's put a lot of effort. He's renovated it, he's fixed it up, it makes a lot of money. But what we want to do is buy that site when it's set up by someone, 5 years ago, and they haven't been able to make money out of it, and they're bored with it, and they're ready just to get rid of it. And that's what we look for. So a really good example, I love this example, is lovely. They're coaches of ours now too. Nathan and Alexa, lovely young couple. They're laptop lifestylers. They're millennials. They just want to, they live in Thailand for however long, and they learn off us, the Australia, buying these passion sites. And one of the sites they noticed here in Australia, there was a gardening site, and it was started by a lovely guy. I don't know, I think it was like at the time 14 years ago or something, and they noticed he just hadn't blogged on it for ages. So basically, it's a blog. And so they reached out to him because they were already in that niche. They knew it. They're not gardeners themselves. They just have a team that write the articles. But they said, hey, mate, notice you haven't touched the website. Would you be open to selling? And he emailed straight back, said, sure, I was just going to close it. I don't make any money off it. You can have it for
Yeah.
$400. So they bought this thing for $400. They renovated, so they took it on. They renovated it. Now it took a year, about a year. But that site, so there's a bit of work that goes into it, not from them personally, from their team. But after that year, it was making $4,000 a month net. So you
Now,
think about that. So, and they
yeah.
own multiple sites. So if you own 10 of those, we're talking a serious income. But even just that one site alone, and they're ex-real estate investors. So they're looking at this going, this is $4,000 a month net profit. So that's a lot of money for an online asset that's just sitting there that only costs them $400. That's
And so
because that
they're
site was,
setting it up and driving traffic to it and
yep,
having
driving
ads
traffic.
on it and like
And new
doing
affiliate offers.
articles and all that kind of
Yep.
stuff to
Yep.
renovate it. Okay.
Yep. And they found new affiliate offers because they were already in that gardening niche. They knew all the top affiliate offers and they just put them straight on there. And actually, for them, I think it started making really good money quite quickly. But then to get it to that $4,000 a month, and they were getting, I think it's in spring in Australia, they'll get like 80,000 visitors to that website a month
Wow.
for a little site that costs $400. And
Yeah.
I guess that's a sweet spot, where you think about it, like in the travel niche, there's so many people that set up travel blogs, right? They travel
Yeah.
around, they love it. And if they don't know what they're doing, and they can be the best buys, they don't make much money out of it. So they get bored and they just sell it off for everything sells for a multiplier of the profit. So if there's not much profit, it doesn't sell for much. So if you know what you're doing, you can buy that travel blog and build it up and sell it to big players for lots of money. And so
Mm.
what's happening now too in the market's evolved. Things like travel blogs and food blogs in particular, they do take more work to run, but food blogs now are selling. Aged food blogs that are successful are now selling for seven figures in the millions. Now, I
What?
never thought 15 years ago you would see that with food
Yeah.
blogs, but because of AI and the way the world's working, niche audiences, vertical niche audiences are incredibly valuable to everyone. But so the big advertisers now know print media is dead, so is TV media. How are we going to reach people? Oh, niche blogs, niche passion sites. If I'm a gardening company, I could put an ad on Nathan and Alexa's website for a fraction of what it used to cost in a magazine, and I've got
Hmm.
instant access to their super niche,
Uh,
real audience. And that's the value of online businesses. I guess that's kind of hopefully that's a light bulb moment for your listeners.
right.
That's
Even
the gold.
even if you're like, well, I'm not necessarily interested in buying a website, but how could I go and put an ad on somebody's website?
Yep.
Like connect with your clients and your
Your
students and go,
clients.
huh,
Yep.
um, that I don't know. I don't know if you do this, but if you had a place where like all of your students would post their websites that they've bought or whatever, and
Yeah.
you could have like a way where people could go and say, oh, I want to sponsor this website and this website and this
Yep.
website. That would be really kind of
That
a cool idea. Go
that
ahead
would
and
be
snag
cool.
it. Let me know how that goes.
Yeah. Well,
Send me some wine
it's
and
interesting.
chocolate. It's fine.
Cool. Yeah, and that's a really smart comment, Shay. Guess what? I just ran a webinar 2 weeks ago, sorry, 2 days ago on telling my clients, like our students, direct sponsorship deals now, I think, is the way of the future. So in the past, the way Liz and I have made money, and all of us make money online. If you go on Google, affiliate marketing or Google Ads, it's very broad. It's really automated, but it's kind of 101 stuff. Where the market I see evolving to is exactly what you just said. You think of it from the point of view of any manufacturer or advertiser. Okay, we all know we can get specific, really good results with Google Ads, but you can get even better if I can precisely advertise on some of these very niche blogs. And we're
Yeah.
seeing that now. You can literally send an email to. We've been doing this for the last decade, but we had a sporting equipment website, right? And you get the standard affiliate offers that everyone gets, which is like, I don't know, 5% commissions if you sell a bit of sporting equipment. So what we do is, and what our clients do, and anyone listening to this can do, you figure out who are the major players in the industry. They're always in America. They're the best ones. So if you're an American, you're laughing, and you just literally, seriously, and you just email them and you say, hey, I've got this niche website. We're doing really well. We love your product. Do you have a direct affiliate offer? And 9 times out of 10, if they'll Google you, they'll look at your website. If they see you're legit and you do have that niche audience, they'll come back and say, yeah, they'll either do a sponsorship deal or they'll pay you a direct affiliate commission, which can be anywhere from 10% to 20%. So
Hmm.
another really cool story, one of our members heard that we do that. So she bought a rundown sporting equipment website for $2,500, and it was just making like $200 a month. We always talk in monthly income,
Yeah.
and she did the same as Nate. She built it up and got it to making around 5 grand a month, which sounds amazing, but it gets way better than that. She then did this thing where she approached direct ad these the sporting equipment manufacturers in America, did these direct deals, and you can get sponsorship deals where they'll advertise on your website as well, because she had such a good audience for it and she
Hmm.
had real people reviewing the products and things. She got, I think, her best affiliate commission. It went up to 20%, and she's
Nice.
also having sponsorship deals. Her record month before Christmas, or around Christmas when everyone's into exercise equipment, I think she made like 25, she was hitting $25,000 months. That's
Wow.
net profit from a $2,500 website buy.
Yeah.
So but the secret is it was the audience. It was a very niche, fashion niche piece of sporting equipment, and advertisers can see that, wow, you've captured this slice of the marketplace. I'm
Hmm.
willing to pay really good money to advertise there. And I do want to reiterate, I think that's something for the future with the way AI search is working now. I think audiences are about to become very valuable. So if you're listening to this and you've got an audience of any kind,
Yeah.
why not think about alternative ways to monetize it? That would be, well, keep your eye on, just think about it. If you've got a niche audience of any kind, I think there's a real opportunity going forward to monetize it in some really cool ways, which is normally dealing directly with on advertisers or sponsors.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we essentially do something similar in the event space, right?
Oh
So
yeah,
we've got the events where we have a very specific audience showing up, and we
yep.
have them for, let's say, 3 days, and we'll open up a sponsorship opportunity for somebody outside to come and speak to our very niche, passion niche audience,
Oh,
right?
that perfect. That's
Yeah,
exactly the
it's the
same thing as
same
what we do
thing.
in passion niches. Yep, exactly the same
Exactly.
thing.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Um,
So Shay, maybe I should talk to you later about doing that. I'll become a sponsor for it with your niche audience. I'm there. You go. You've already just sold me on it.
Absolutely, yes. So speaking of like positioning and authority and being that go-to like group for driving traffic to your websites and stuff like that,
Yep.
do you have like a favorite platform for getting visible?
Awesome question. This is something that, so traditionally, and I don't know, like if you who your listeners are listening to how advanced they are with online stuff, but to keep it really simple, traditionally, Liz and I, we call them portfolio sites, these websites that we're buying, is we teach people to use SEO to drive traffic to them. But what's happened with AI now it's what we're seeing works. It's trickier. It's harder for beginners. For advanced people, actually, even for advanced people, the SEO landscape's changed quite a lot. If you know a bit about SEO, you would understand what I'm talking about. So what's working really well though is, and I think there's a golden opportunity window of opportunity, say for the next year or two, where what I'm starting to call it more AI SEO, is making sure we call it the web of discovery. And that is your website, no matter who you are, is being discovered in all these multiple points around the internet. And basically, with the way AI works, it's absolutely perfect because it's just a LLM model, like large language model.
Learning,
It
yeah.
just connects up all the points. So to answer your question, social media channels. So in the past, I know lots of gurus always talk about social media. Finally, so we've never taught social media because we didn't need to use it, to be honest about it, and it's a lot of work. But what we've come around to is I think social media channels in and of themselves can be really, really good traffic drivers these days, particularly. And to answer your question, what are the best platforms? It depends on the niche you're in. But what we're recommending to clients now and to our students and to anyone listening to this is, with these kind of semi-passive websites, what's working really well is to build a community of some kind. And that typically means a social media following. So it kind of feeds into your question. What are the platforms that we're finding working really well? YouTube, I'm a massive fan of. I totally understand there's more work involved in YouTube. Okay, and it's not, I totally get it's not passive. So that's fine. But if you want to go big with online businesses, I think YouTube's a must. I've always been a fan for the last decade. Just anecdotally, I always noticed LinkedIn ranks really highly. Google really pays a lot of attention, even in these passion niches that we're in. So bizarrely, I highly recommend LinkedIn. So
Huh.
LinkedIn traditionally has been used more for a business networking type thing, but I think it works really well with passion sites and for building your branding online. LinkedIn's very powerful. And of course, Facebook groups, private Facebook groups, Insta, if you're into that, TikTok. We don't do Insta and TikTok as much, but we're also seeing really good results with Pinterest with clients for driving large amounts of traffic in certain, because we're in crafting niches and things like that. We're in a lot
Mm,
of, and our clients are into like passion niches, learning how to play golf, guitar, anything to do with craft, sewing, knitting, crafting, gardening, all those sorts of, any kind of sports. So Pinterest works really, really well. So we had a client, a vet. She's awesome. She built a site from scratch in pickleball. She knows nothing about pickleball. So, and she just decided she totally outsourced the Pinterest stuff to a VA that she hired on Upwork. And she sold that for 15 grand US, and she was making 5 or 6 grand. She made 5 or 6 grand off it as well. It was just a little kind of passion side project, but she used Pinterest to drive a lot of traffic to that site. So that was just
yeah,
recently.
that's a good
So
idea. I'll
yeah,
have
they're
to
the
talk
sorts
to my
of
clients.
platforms now that we kind of work in with the traditional blog. The main platform that we still use is a traditional WordPress blog. Um, but what we're finding now is those other channels work particularly well. But the other big bit of advice is we're saying to people, just make sure you're building the community, because the community, and that means you've got to have a list of some kind, because then it's not reliant on Google at all. And you can always monetize it with direct sponsors. That's the best way to monetize a list, direct sponsorship.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. You still got to control the list, right?
Yeah.
Because the social media can go away tomorrow, and you still
Yes,
have your
that's right.
list.
It's not an asset. And thank you, Shay. That is, I mean, I should make sure I tell people that. That is so, please listen to Shay. Just remember those social media channels, you do not own them. Whereas a
Mhm.
WordPress blog, you do, and your own email list, you do. So they're
Yeah.
probably the two big ones that you really should focus on. And I know, Shay, like with a lot of your listeners, you know, they're running courses or they're speakers and stuff like that. Your list is the most important thing these days. But if you are a speaker or anything, think about a podcast or a YouTube channel. I think
Yeah.
that's the way, particularly YouTube is about to be. I mean, everyone's been saying that for what, a decade, but YouTube's time is definitely now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, I mean, this has been a lot of fun, Matt. I've really enjoyed like tweaking my brain and thinking about things. And I was writing some notes. I'm like, ooh, I need to tell my client and ask them if they're using Pinterest because they're in one of those passion niches themselves.
Ooh,
And so
yep.
I'm like, ooh, I need to ask them if they're using it. And if not, they need to start getting on it. So thank you for
And they
that.
and they can do what a vet did. She knew nothing about it. They could just jump on Upwork and hire a VA for very little to help them set up the Pinterest and drive it. And that's literally what I was really impressed with. She's non-technical. She didn't know
Hmm.
how to do Pinterest at all. And she's in a topic she knew nothing about. But this VA did everything and it,
That's amazing.
made her good money.
Yeah, that's amazing. I do want to like maybe have you go off to the side a little bit with me
Sure.
and kind of go, okay, what's the next like edge for you, either personally or professionally, that feels like maybe a little exciting, a little scary?
Yeah.
What are you leaning into or experimenting with right now?
Oh, favorite question, Shay. Thank you for asking it. It has to be AI.
Yeah,
It is, it actually, how you just said that was really cool. It is really exciting for us, but it's also a little bit scary.
yeah,
And we're saying to our kids, our own kids and clients, look, if just start even playing with it. Like at the very least, open a Chat GPT account, open a Claude account. If you're serious about this, we run all three and Gemini plus a bunch of other tools. We're going right down the rabbit hole. And there is an element of it is a bit scary, but I think there's massive opportunities over these coming years. I think sadly, a lot of people are going to be left behind if they don't do that. So if today you're listening to this and you've got kids or something and they're wondering what to do in life, if you could encourage them to start playing with Chat GPT, most kids are already pretty comfortable with it. Our kids do all their assignments with Chat GPT and they're already on it.
yeah,
But um, that's, I guess, the very exciting space that we're working in now with AI. Just seeing at a basic level, even what it can automate for us in our businesses now. Like, we use Upwork a lot, which is a place where we hire VAs, virtual assistants, typically, people from the Philippines or India or Pakistan or whatever. I got to say, we've just replaced heaps of them with
yeah.
AI now.
I just saw someone in the space that was like, yeah, my marketing team went from four to one
Yeah,
because of
we're
what
the
we've
same.
automated, right? So,
Exactly. Ours has literally gone from 4 to 1 as well.
mm,
We are kind of surprised that, and I think, Shay, what the question you've just asked, and we're angel investors as well, so we are into this stuff. And in the angel investing world, everyone's just sitting there now. We all know there is going to be a what's called a unicorn, which is $1 billion valuation with one person. Everyone's just waiting. Who's going to be the first one that does it? So,
mm,
10 years ago, it was really exciting when companies like Dropbox and Pinterest and all those guys were becoming unicorns with, say, 20 employees. Now we all know that it's going to happen with just one. Someone's going to create the first $1 billion company with one person.
that's
But what
crazy.
that
Yeah.
means for us mere mortals is if you're doing a side hustle or any sort of business, you really, I think we're going to see the rise of the 1 or 2 person businesses now that are doing, a healthy 6 figures. And
Yeah.
that's really exciting to us. That's what we want to teach people or open people's eyes to is, hey, here's ways that you can do that. Because it is totally possible. I mean, we've already got clients that have been doing that anyway, but typically they are outsourcing to VAs and they'll have a team of, say, half a dozen. I think it's just going to be pretty much Liz and I could do everything we need to do ourselves,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
could, or most of realistically, the AI is good enough now. But it's lovely to have team humans do fill in, like do serve, like
Yeah,
fill
I
in a
think we
really
still
nice
need that
part of the
human part, right? Where
Mm.
it's like the AI will get us to 80%, but we still got to do
Yeah,
that
that's the
20%, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Matt, if somebody is like, okay, I want to learn a little bit more about like what you got going on, what's the best way for people to reach out to you? And do you happen to have a gift for our audience?
We certainly do. So we have a free masterclass where we go through our whole strategy of how we buy, renovate, and sell websites. We show lots of examples of us and our clients, actual sites that were the sort of sites, and more importantly, we show you how to value websites and how what sort of things you should look at for your due diligence. So you can check that out at ebusinessinstitute.com.au/masterclass. Or you just Google my name, find eBusiness Institute, and just click on the free training link. That's probably the
Perfect.
easiest way. And you
Yeah,
can
and we'll
check
have
out
the
all our
link in the show
success.
notes.
Yeah, thank you. And you can check out our success stories too. Like they're really inspirational, seeing what people are doing to get out of their 9 to 5 jobs.
Perfect. My last question for you is, what's one action step someone can take today to explore the world of digital real estate?
Learn how online businesses work if you're totally new to this, and start out small. Don't rush out and buy or build a 6-figure website. You don't have to. Just learn how to build a website or understand how websites work, how they're monetized, and then start out small. Buy a simple little site under 5 grand, or under 10 grand, just practice with it
Yeah.
and build your team from there.
I love it. I love it.
Easy.
Well, please, thank you, Matt. And for those listening, please be sure that you connect with him via his website, LinkedIn. All those links are going to be in the show notes. And if this episode gave you a fresh perspective, please share it, tag us, and leave a review. Your review helps more people find these transformational conversations on creating powerful impact. Until next time, have an outstanding rest of your day. Take care. Powerful Impact Podcast. If you are a successful coach, speaker, author, or thought leader who would like to be on this program, simply visit creatingpowerfulimpact.com/guest. If you are someone who got something out of this interview, would you please do me a favor and share this episode on social media? Just do a quick screenshot with your phone and text it to a friend or post it on your socials. Also, if you know somebody that would be a great guest, tag them on social media to let them know about the show and include the hashtag Creating Powerful Impact. I love seeing all of your posts and great guest selections. We are regularly putting out new episodes and content. To make sure you don't miss any episodes, go ahead and subscribe. Your thumbs up, ratings, and reviews go a long way to help promote the show, and they really mean a lot to me and my team. Want to know more about us? Head on over to our website, graceandeaseproductions.com, or follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram. Just look for Grace and Ease Productions on your favorite platform. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.